Hi, my name is Laura, and I'm coming to you to talk to you about me being a product and fruit of the Phoenix First Bus Ministry. When I was 7 years old, the buses used to come down to South Phoenix, where I lived, on 35th Avenue in Buckeye, and also when I moved to 3rd Avenue in Grant. And I remember the buses taking us to Phoenix First, and it was just this big, amazing church on the mountain, and they would give us Christmas gifts at Christmas time and tell us about the Lord, and it just really impacted my life. After some time, we had moved away from that area, and when I was 17, another family came into our lives, and they introduced me to the Lord and took us on a retreat. And at the age of 17, I was told about Jesus, and at the retreat, they asked me if I wanted to be Jesus' friend, and I said yes, I would love to be Jesus' friend. They asked me to write a letter about the experience so that I wouldn't forget what I had learned at the retreat and to mail it to myself. And when I got home, I opened that letter, and I was so excited just to be Jesus' friend that I was just so hungry for him, and I wanted to know that he was real. And I used to go into my room, and I would close the door. And at that time, I had worldly music. I had Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, and I used to sing, "Ooh, baby." You know, the songs would say, "Ooh, baby, I love you," and I would change them and say, "Ooh, God, I love you." And every day I would just come home excited to sing to him and just have that time with him. And one day I came into my room, and I started my radio again, thinking I was going to sing the same songs to him. And I was so surprised to hear a Christian song playing, and it was Jackie Velasquez, and I just couldn't understand how a Christian CD made its way into my radio, and I didn't own a Christian CD. I had never been to a Christian store, and I called a friend, and they said, well, I don't know, we don't remember that CD, because my sisters had used CDs from her case and thought maybe she had left it there, and she didn't remember it, but she said, oh, well, I could have it. So I was so excited. That was my first encounter with the Lord, to know that he was real, that he was actually hearing me sing to him, so much so that he brought me a Christian CD so that when I sang to him, that the words would be pleasing to him. And that's when I realized that God is real. When I was 17 years old, after being reintroduced to the Lord and him becoming my friend, I remembered that church that used to pick me up when I was a child, and I wanted to go look for it again. So I found Phoenix First, and I used to park at the higher tier level and where they used to feed the homeless, and I'd sit up at the highest tier level, and I used to watch the service from afar. And it was just so glorious to be back at that church. So I know that everything that I have gone through in my life, from a child being molested and later being raped, and as a young adult being in a domestic violence relationship, I know that God is going to use that to turn it around for his glory. In my young adult life, I chose to live life my own way, which brought nothing but pain, sorrow, and abuse. But the Lord let me out of it. I had a domestic violence relationship that wasn't pleasing to him. And I began to hear God's voice. And he spoke to me, and he said he did not want me in that relationship anymore. He did not want me in that house anymore. And he led me out. And the Lord used my cousin, and she gave me a scripture, Psalms 55. And it was everything that was going on in my life at that time. And he showed me that the person that I was with, that wasn't really who he said he was, and that he was a wolf in sheep's clothing, and that he said he followed the Lord, but he didn't. His heart wasn't real. he had nothing but violence in him, and that he was just lying to me. Led me to Fire and Water International Church and used Pastor Cheryl to help me rededicate my life to the Lord. And there, the Lord was healing me and told me to get away from the friends that I was around and to be in prayer, and taught me about fasting and used fasting as a tool to bring new friends into my life. I fasted on a Wednesday, and on a Friday he brought friends into my life that spoke to me and revealed to me that I had a spirit of lust on me because of what had happened to me as a child, and the Lord delivered me of that. Through the fast, the Lord spoke to me and revealed that I have a call in my life and that I was going to go into ministry with my husband, a deliverance ministry, because he had delivered me from these things, and he wanted me to deliver others as well, to help them find the Lord so that he could deliver them. So one day I was at work, and they let us go home early because we didn't have enough work, and I found myself at the prayer pavilion outside, and I was listening to what I didn't know was the women's ministry Bible study, and it was everything I was going through at the time. And then the Lord led me to meet Bernie, who introduced me to Nancy, and she led me to Priscilla, and I got introduced to counseling here at the Dream City Church, and I got more healing that I needed. And also I'm here now because of the call that God has on my life. And he's revealed to me that he wants me to go into counseling. And so this is the first step for me going into the call of what God has on my life.